Okay, so good evening. Let's try to make a very short video right in here. There is actually a thing I wanted to point out. Uh, we are on Bitcoin once again, because we are always on Bitcoin, right? Now, uh, well, first of all, the reaction in those areas we were actually pointing our eyes on to, it's pretty lackluster so far, so that's not really the reaction I wanted to see, or at least I was hoping to see. But again, it is what it is. Cannot really blame price action to do whatever he wants to do, right? But that's not the point of the discussion here. I wanted to bring on some examples that could be useful to, understand whether it's, convenient or a good opportunity or a good, let's say, case to be in a long position or not. So essentially trying to identifying what the market is doing, basically distributing or accumulating. Now, this is what happened since Friday, I guess. Yeah, it was Friday, yeah. And this sort of behavior, that's essentially what I look for. And when I see something like this, that's basically trend continuation. Or if you want, on a high time frame base, this is a move which is not over yet. And the point is that what you see is basically the market moving impulsively down, then going sideways for a little bit, and you never know up until the point where it really makes his mind clear to where he wants to go next. But when the markets start to go sideways like this, those are periods where you want to be aware and you want to pay attention on what's happening. Because if you see something like this, let's say consolidation, a high which is rated, then impulsive move down, and a return to, let's say, the origin of the move, filling in the inefficiency that has been created on this move down, and you see the market rejected in there and keep on falling, that's usually a good sign of distribution going on. So if you start to see this scenario playing out, you don't want to be long, especially if you see this scenario playing out in multiple occasions. Like you see in here, it's the same thing. Got a high rate, price essentially failing at sustain a rally above this high, impulsive move down, price come back up, filling in the inefficiency, retest the area, guess picking up more sell side liquidity in here, and keep on falling. And even in here, these dump, it's pretty aggressive and lower time frame, as you can see. Still, this is a 15-minute time frame, so gotta be always mindful of the time frame you're looking at. But even in here, you can see that after this drop, the market actually comes back up, failing this inefficient price delivery almost to the T, and it repeats the same behavior. High rated, impulsive move down, getting back up, filling in the inefficiency, filling the gaps that has been left behind, while the price were, essentially was moving aggressively to the downside, but ultimately it keeps on falling down. Now, this is I guess a particular moment if you are looking at these, time frame, because we are still, if you look at it, in in an area where you should expect some sort of a reaction. Now, so far, as I was saying, the reaction, it's not really what I wanted to see, but it's never a said and done deal up until a point this area really really give up. You should be able to recognize that happening if you see an impulsive break and close below these gray rectangle, I guess. And yeah, that was just to highlight what you look for or not look for in order to be willing to put in a long position here, or at least hunting for long position, sorry. Now, the question might be, okay, what do I do? What should I look for to decide if I want to start, to hunt for longs? Well, essentially, it's just the same thing, just the other way around. Basically, you could just, press Alt I in this case and invert the chart and observe the same behavior, just, on the opposite side. We have just put things upside down, and you see the same behavior, but it's just on, in the opposite direction, I guess. So in this case, you see lows which are rated, and then price moving up aggressively, breaking structure in here, then coming back down, revisiting the origin of the move, filling in the inefficient move up, and essentially, ultimately, keeping on going higher. And again, in here, same stuff. You can see it's really the same stuff we were looking at on, while they were playing out on the downside. This time around, they're playing out on the upside. That's usually a good way to look at what price is doing, what the market is doing, and how people are kind of moving price around. So just be mindful of that. It could be something that could help to identify the order flow which is occurring in the market right now. And always remember that these type of behaviors on lower time frames are relevant, and you should keep an eye out for them up until the point you reach a very relevant level, or a very relevant area on high time frame. Let's say we were looking at a 15-minute. If you see these market reaching out to, let's say, levels or zones or areas which are relevant, let's say on the daily, you should kind of lift off your pedal, your pedal from the floor, because at that point you should expect some sort of a reaction at those levels. I think, yeah, the market is still pretty weak. I didn't really see that sign of reaction that I wanted to see, and I still remain pretty uncertain on the strength of this asset class right now. But again, that's a conversation for another video. I wanted to keep this one on the very short term side of things, and yeah, we will get back to it during the weekend, I guess. I just wanted to point out a few patterns that you can look for to kind of grasp the, I guess, current market behavior, or current market. Well, I don't want to say sentiment, because sentiment it's not really something I put a lot of attention on. But again, let's just say the current order flow, the market on lower time frames, especially intraday, intra-week. If you play intra-week plays, intraday trades, it could be something that helps you to decide, well, first and foremost, whether or not you want to be in a trade, and in what direction you want it to be in a trade, if you decide so, and what kind of behaviors, triggers to look for in order to be there and saying, okay, that's what I wanted to see. That's the market telling me, keep on going the same direction or changing behavior. It might be helpful to kind of get familiar with these patterns and being able to recognize them ahead of time, to be prepared and getting in sync with the order flow, which is maybe shifting or maybe keep on doing the same thing, right? And with that, I'll leave you off. Have a great night. Have a great dinner. Peace out.